Hey everybody, welcome back in the shed. I'm Troy. This is Dave.
Howdy, folks.
Today we're talking about the top 4 Who Wrote That songs. But before we get started, I want you to leave your picks below, see if they match ours. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. So yeah, top 4 songs that were written by somebody else. And Dave's going to take this away, and I'm going to sit back and learn from the master.
Well, I'm not the master, but anyways, this is a topic I've been sitting on for a while, and I wanted to do it because there are so many songs in the history of modern music that were, maybe written by somebody else and covered, and but there's, collaborated on, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, some of these songs we did, we kind of referenced on our best cover songs we did a while back, but I'm going to pick some that are a little more perhaps obscure and you don't really understand maybe who wrote that song, but they were popular songs.
Well, let's just get started, man. What's your number 4? And you notice we're doing 4 tonight instead of 3, since I have I'm giving the whole show to Dave on this episode.
He's got no input.
I've got no input.
He has no idea what I'm gonna what I'm gonna throw out there.
Yeah.
But you can still comment. Anyway,
I'm curious to see what these are. So let's just get started, man. What's your number 4?
our first one is going to be "Because the Night," written by Bruce Springsteen.
Because the night belongs to lovers. Because the night belongs to love.
Now, the Patti Smith Group recorded that song on her 1978 album Easter, and it became her biggest hit. And Rolling Stone magazine even ranked it at number 358 as one of the greatest songs of all time. Supposedly Bruce had written that song and actually committed it to tape, but it remained unfinished.
They can't hurt us now. They can't hurt me now. They can't hurt me now.
But Jimmy Iovine, who was engineering Bruce's album Darkness on the Edge of Town, and he was producing Patti Smith's album Easter. He got the rough tape and took it to her and played it, and she loved the song, and she added lyrics to it and then recorded it and made it her own. The song was first performed by Patti Smith at CBGB's in New York, famous punk bar, and I believe it was 1977 or 78, and she had Bruce on guitar playing with her. Now, Bruce never really actually, he recorded it, but he never released it. So it was one of those songs that, was in his catalog, and a lot of people know that Bruce had a big deal with it, but he did perform it live, later,
When it became a hit?
after it became a hit. Yeah, but it's a great, Patti Smith song, and I think everyone knows it. So yeah,
Yeah, there was a band in the 80s called Keel.
yeah.
Do you remember the band Keel? Keel?
Were they
They were a metal band. They were
Metal band.
like
up
one of those-
Troy's alley?
and they actually did a cover of that song too.
I think many people maybe have covered
And
that song.
I'd never heard the song. I can't remember exactly what year that album came out. 87, something like that. But that's the first time I'd ever heard that song, and I thought it was a cover of a Patti Smith song.
Because the night belongs to lovers. Because the night belongs to love.
Well, it probably technically was.
Yeah, but I'm sure Bruce gets some money for it when it's
Well, I think
played.
he gets some credits on it. But
Yeah.
great song. It's really her biggest hit, and I love that song.
It's a good number 4. So let's just keep moving, man. What's your number 3?
Number 3 is going to be Kentucky Woman written by Neil Diamond.
Kentucky woman, she shine with her own kind of light.
Deep Purple covered that song in 1968, and it kind of became a hit single.
She gets to know you. She gets to own you.
You know, Neil had, recorded the song and released the song in 67, and it kind of became a minor hit. But this was the very beginning in the early era of Deep Purple, before, Ian Gillan and Roger Glover had joined the band. But, it's really kind of strange that they covered that song because, at the time, Deep Purple were kind of a, I don't know, progressive, maybe psychedelic kind of band, back in the early, or 68. But I always found it kind of strange when I first remember hearing about that song, because everyone, I think you might remember the Deep Purples. It was one of the first hits.
Maybe I'd have to hear it to refresh my memory.
Well, I guess you're going to hear it.
I'm going to hear it now.
Yeah, like I said, it was kind of strange because, Neil Diamond at the time, he wrote tons of songs, but he was also kind of known as a kind of a mellower kind of songwriter kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a different lane than, Deep Purple was. But I'm going to put that down as number 3.
That's a good number 3. I didn't know that. Maybe I know the song. Maybe I don't. If I don't,
I think when you hear it, you're going to recognize it. Because
there's a lot of songs that I know, but I don't even know the names of the songs. Even songs that I hear all the time, I don't necessarily know the names of it.
Well,
it's like rocking down the highway or riding down the highway, like we talked about.
Kentucky woman, she gets to know you. Yeah, it's famous Deep Purple song.
All right,
but all right,
that's a good one. So let's just keep moving. What's your number 2?
Number 2 is going to be The Pusher by Hoyt Axton.
I smoked a lot of grass and I popped a couple of pills.
Steppenwolf recorded this famous song in 1968 on their debut album. The song became a hit, and it was actually featured in the Easy Rider movie in 1969.
But the pusher don't care. Oh, if you live.
Now, Hoyt was like a West Coast kind of folk singer, and he actually recorded that song in 1963.
But the pusher is a monster and not a natural man.
But, Hoyt was one of these kind of like, these Renaissance kind of guys, and he was an actor, and he was featured in a lot of movies and TV shows in his career.
Also now in Gremlins, it's the face of an erstwhile inventor. It also happens to belong to a man by the name of Hoyt Axton.
But, throughout his songwriting career, he wrote a lot of songs that maybe people don't even realize. He wrote, like, Joy to the World.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine.
And Never Been to Spain.
I never been to Spain, but I kinda like the music.
And he even wrote the No-No song by Ringo Starr. You know that song?
Yeah.
All right. Sing it.
No. I'm not going to sing it. I don't know how. I can't remember how it goes, but
No.
So
I don't smoke it no more.
All right.
wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Because Ringo is to me, he's famous for
A lot of silly.
writing and coming up with like sort of silly songs.
Yeah, exactly. But Steppenwolf's, version of The Pusher is one of those iconic, counterculture songs of the 70s. And, I think when I first heard about it, Hoyt Axton doing it, I was, much later in life, but I knew who Hoyt Axton was.
Okay.
But it was just like, wow, this is Steppenwolf, Hoyt Axton. But that's what it was, folks. So that's number 2.
Number 2, man. Man, we are cruising along in this episode. I think we should always do it this way. That way I can just sit back and relax, drink my beer, and don't have to think too much.
Yeah, that's totally fair to me.
Hey, you're retired, man. You got way more time to come up with your, do a lot of research watching.
It's a collaborative effort.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got to do the backside.
I got to do the hard work.
All right.
I got to sit here and watch all this again. I thought about when I was trying to come up with some topics. I was like, we should do, since we're shooting this in the summer in Texas now, and it was 100 degrees today pretty much, and it's just
felt like it.
It's just like humid. And I thought, well, we should do hot songs.
But we already did.
Oh, we already did hot songs. It's like, man, how can
we did it when it was like really hot.
I was like, how can we spin another hot song episode?
Well,
and then you know what? When I actually came up, I was like, oh, we should do hot songs. And I started thinking of all these songs, these hot songs. And then I was like, oh, I think we already did that. So I went down our list and I found the episode, and all of the songs that I had picked when I came up with this topic again, I'd picked at that time too. What's number 1, man?
All right. Number 1 song is going to be Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You by Ann Breeden.
Babe, I'm gonna leave you. Tell you when I'm gonna leave you.
Led Zeppelin covered this on their classic debut album in 1969.
Baby, baby, I'm gonna leave you.
Did they cover it or did they steal it like people say they did a lot of songs? Or did they actually cover it?
I might get into that.
Okay, he's going to get into it. Let's get into it, man.
All right. Now, this gal Ann Breeden had written and recorded that song in the 50s, and Joan Baez had heard it, and she recorded it in 1962.
Babe, I'm gonna leave you.
Now, Jimmy Page had heard the song, back in his early days, he was a session guitarist guy. And he had heard the song, the Joan Baez version, I believe it was. And he eventually took it to Robert Plant and played for him when they were, recording that first album.
I ain't joking, woman, I've got to ramble.
Of course, the Zeppelin version is much longer and definitely harder rocking than the Joan Baez version. But on the album, I guess they credited the song as like traditional.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't reference Ann Breeden. But after many years later, and Zeppelin was pretty famous for, borrowing or, taking songs that were written by somebody else, changing them up, like they did with Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. And because of that, eventually Ann Breeden ended up getting, credit and
some royalties out of it.
Substantial back royalties.
Oh, wow. Good for her.
But, I thought that was really, one of those strange things that, of course, Zeppelin had covered some blues songs and folk songs, and they had some traditional songs and stuff like that. But this was one of those where when I researched this and read about it, I was really kind of struck by that one, especially because I'd known about a bunch of other songs that they had done, but I didn't really recall that being, a song that Ann Breeden had written. But anyways, that's going to be our 4.
Who wrote that song?
Who wrote that song? And
good picks, Dave.
all right.
And leave your picks below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video. We got some merch. Get you some down below. And we'll see you next time in the shed.
And I'm sure there's some more out there. We'd love to hear from you folks. So comment, and we'll see you next time.